There's no scientific definition of being in a slump, but if you live long enough, you'll probably experience it. And when you're in a slump, you can tell pretty clearly. It's the feeling of having nothing on the horizon, or at least nothing you're particularly looking forward to. Life is happening, but there's no color. You start a new project, you try to set a new goal, but you just can't get past step one. There's a hump, and you just can't get over it. You can feel it in your brain. There's a lack of movement, not enough spark. You're alive, but there's no life in you. In your home, there's empty Amazon boxes just sitting around. You can't even remember what they once contained. You go to work, and it's fine. You've been doing this for a while. But you also know that if you weren't there, they could get somebody else, and that person would also do the job fine. Everything would be okay. You look around at your home, and you think, why do I live here? Why am I staying here? Why keep this going? If you think about these questions long enough, you might be able to come up with some answers, but the fact that it took you so long means that the answers you came up with probably aren't coming from your heart. Maybe it's time for something new. Maybe it's time to get rid of all this stuff. Don't even bother trying to sell it. Nobody wants all of your cheap Amazon basic products. List it all for free on Facebook Marketplace and thank the people who bother to show up. Tell your landlord that you're leaving. Try to get your deposit back, but whatever. If they want to keep it, that's on them. The last thing you should do is buy a tent and some basic camping gear. Get in your car if you have a car. If not, get on a bus and head towards the middle of the country. Nobody talks about it, but there's lots of places in America where there's just big open fields. Maybe these used to be farms or something, but for now they're pretty much just sitting there. Drive by these empty fields until eventually they all start to look the same. Then pull over. Walk out far into the field, way out there, maybe up in the hills somewhere. That's where you live now. That's your home. Spend that first night looking up at the stars, getting in tune with the universe, letting it all wash over you. This is your big shot to finally become a spiritual person. If you don't become all spiritual, that's okay too. It wasn't your thing, but it was worth a shot. When you run out of supplies, head down to the road and start driving until you find a Dollar General. Shouldn't take you long. Most of the country is just Dollar General at this point. Stock up on canned goods, and while you're there, ask them if they're hiring. They're almost always hiring. Because you sleep in a tent, you don't really need to make a lot of money. Just enough to buy gas and keep your phone on. You can probably steal food from work. When the store is slow, try to make small talk with the customers. Get to know them. Find out what their lives are like, what they're going through. Eventually, you'll meet a woman who seems nice. Don't mention to her that you sleep in a tent in a field, although she might guess that's the case due to your hair. Get to know her. Listen to her stories. Get her to invite you over for dinner. She probably has kids, but she's separated from their father, who left a long time ago. Bring toys for the kids. Give them candy you stole from work. It's not hard to make kids like you. Just try to be a good person. Keep coming over for dinner, Eventually, she'll invite you to spend the night. You'll make love in her creaky old bed, and it'll feel nice to sleep inside. She knows you're homeless, and she knows that the cold months are coming up, so she'll invite you to live with her, to be a father figure to her kids. It seems strange at first, like you're living someone else's life, but you're not. This is your life now. You live in Indiana, and you're not in the slump anymore.